This is a performance of my Heathers 2 script, starring Mike Meyer, that's me, and Winona Ryder. Heathers 2, Scene 1. The new science teacher of Westerberg High School runs into Veronica Sawyer, the new principal of Westerberg High School. Excuse me, don't I recognize you? Aren't you Veronica Sawyer, the new principal of Westerberg High School? Yes, it's an honor meeting you. I've heard some great things about you. They tell me you've made some amazing progress in SETI research, which I don't mind showing off by saying it's what I know to be the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. What is your name? It's Dalton Donner, and yes, I have made some great discoveries in the field of the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. What's more puzzling than whether or not intelligent life exists on other planets is how the human digestive system metabolizes turbo dogs. I don't think about it. They taste great and you could get like 4 of them for 99 cents. All you need is a microwave and 44 seconds worth of patience, and you're transported into a culinary realm that could rival any Dionysian excursion. Then you barf in the dumpster in back of the Snappy Snack Shack, am I right? Well, yeah, but then you say to yourself, now I feel alive. If you still are alive, obviously. Whatever happened to that dickwad JD? You know, the guy that looked like somebody you would see on the cover of Tiger Beat and imitated Jack Nicholson? He's a gynecologist in Juneau, Alaska. By the way, he doesn't imitate Jack Nicholson. That's the way he really talks. That's bullshit. I heard that before. That's how I get in the movies, by imitating Jack Nicholson. Don't get me wrong, he's a fine actor. And I enjoy his performances, but he does imitate Jack Nicholson. So he went from being a successful actor into gynecology. It's very interesting. Yeah, but let's talk about us instead. You're fucking cool. Would you like to see me outside of work sometime? Would I? Yes. Will I? Yes. Can I? Yes. Okay, we'll talk about it after school on Monday. Okay. Veronica hopped into her vintage baby blue Porsche with light brown leather interior and drove off into the Ohio evening with an overwhelming feeling of anticipation of her date with Mr. Donner. Mr. Donner locked himself out of his rusted yellow Dodge Pinto and had to call AAA to get him in. When they finally arrived, it wouldn't start, and he had to push it home because he got into an argument with one of the employees. He too, however, anticipated his date with Veronica Sawyer with unbridled joy. Scene 2. It's Monday morning, and a conference is being held in the school gymnasium to inaugurate Veronica Sawyer as a new principal. Mr. Donner is there in the audience, listening to every word uttered by the old principal in this ceremony. Students and faculty, it is with immense pleasure that I am presenting to you today your new principal, Miss Sawyer, said the old principal. Look at that ass. I would crawl naked through a cave full of sleeping bears to stick my face in her bare rear, said a guy in the audience to his loser friends. I would stick knitting needles into my spleen just to do her laundry, said his loser friend. That's nothing. I would shave off my eyebrows, wear nothing but a codpiece, and run around her house in San Francisco just to bathe her and fill her day with intelligent conversation, said another guy. Thank you very much. It's such an honor to accept this position as the new principal of Westbrook High School. I attended this notable institution, and it wasn't that bad. I wouldn't trust the cream of hogtail soup. That's not real hog in there. I'm not sure what it is, but it's not hog. But I am happy to be here. The gathering was then adjourned. Mr. Donner and Miss Sawyer then proceeded back to Miss Sawyer's office to discuss the day's events. Did you notice that when you return to these schools as an adult, some of the traits that all the teachers found so annoying in us, you now find annoying in the students? You could really see it from another vantage point. The immaturity of many of these kids is utterly despicable. Oh, believe me, I agree. You know that zit-faced guy named Charlie who is always throwing garbage out of the cans in the hallways? Of course, I do. What a freak. Yeah, well, unfortunately, he's in my advanced physics class. I don't envy that. Actually, to tell you the truth, I really don't feel like many of the other faculty here either. I don't like. They seem to defend the students and all their evil. I don't like that. I'm joking, of course, but I would almost like to snuff them out before they can wreak havoc on society at large. Yeah. All we need is a modus operandi. Nothing goes the way it really should, does it? I agree wholeheartedly. This is chaos! We need a better scenario. Yeah. Just then, Miss Sawyer looked Mr. Donner right in the eyes with her beautiful brown eyes that conveyed worlds of emotional landscapes. In these eyes, he could see the wisdom passed on to her by her ancestry, loss of innocence, love of life, curiosity, a need for new experiences, joy, anguish, pain, happiness, fear, apprehension, cynicism, doubt, caution, bliss, and above all else, a union of souls with Mr. Donner that was on both a platonic and sexual level, and which had become a passion so great that the consummation of this was a need essential to her wholeness as a sentient person. Just then, she very aggressively lunged forward in the direction of Mr. Donner, shoved him into her leather recliner, and went to work on every excitable and arguably erogenous section of his body. Every possible sexual sensation that could be drawn from this man was realized as if emitted from a volcano. He never realized that sex could be this transcendent, visceral, continuous, weird, comforting, healing, fun, arousing, informative, ritualistic, joyous, wild, and romantic. It was just a kind of woman he needed, being a nebbish intellectual type who was always awkward with women. He also kind of liked her take control attitude or approach. Also, she was a very kind woman, which he didn't always see in a lot of the other women he dated. Well, that was beyond my expectation. That was the point. A good man like yourself with great integrity, a great mind, and a great sense of romance needs a little of this. I apparently did. That's just a sample of what my vast sexual skill can provide you with. I sure hope so. We better get out of here. We mustn't get caught. I agree. Let's go philosophize or something. Just then, they went out into the night to choose a place. They then proceeded to a cabin in the local woods owned by Mr. Donner's dad. Before they arrived, they made a stop at the Snappy Snack Shack for some imported German lager, cigarettes, and Andy Cap's hot fries. When they arrived at the rustic but posh cabin, they got comfortable on their giant sofa and began discussing all manner of philosophy. It's kind of unusual, isn't it? What is? Just the fact that we are now teachers. We went to this school and jumped through all the hoops and received advanced degrees. Now we are back at the same place we started and our teachers here. It's a good thing not everybody decides to become a teacher. Nothing would get done out there. There's the point. But in order for any of these students to reach their potential to become productive members of society, in order that things do get done out there, they need fine educators such as us, such as ourselves, to guide them. That's true. Do you believe in any kind of an afterlife? It really seems improbable to a rationalist mind such as mine. I definitely know what you're saying, and my soul yearns for so much more than the measly amount of time we are given on this planet. Most people spend a great deal of their lives working at a job they honestly don't like and can hopefully fit a little pleasure in here and there. Then they fucking die. That sucks. I agree with you that it may not be the most rational view to believe that there's an afterlife. My only argument for a belief in the afterlife would be either some kind of rebirth or regenesis, such as reincarnation. Also, some interpretations of quantum physics may suggest that there really is a sentient mind. I really hope so. That's why you have to make the best of this life. For me, making the best of this life would include learning as much as you can about the world, the cosmos, and the nature of interactions in our environment between both sentient life and non-sentient plant life, and becoming better human beings by more consciously fulfilling our role as a link in the chain of life that is more properly being tended to by plants and animals. We need to care for this planet to ensure that it is inhabitable for future Earth dwellers. Making the best of life would also include enjoying as much art, music, and all things theatrical as I can before I'm gone, and creating as much art, music, and all things theatrical before I die. I have a vision for my life, for my art, music, and all things theatrical that includes both low and highbrow forms, and rejects any form of censorship. I truly believe in freedom of expression to its very core. The final thing that I would consider to be making the best of life is finding a love in life that truly gives you a numinous sense of elevation beyond beyond mundane everyday existence. I can't live this life without feeling a lot of soul discovery every day and seeing beyond the veil. Transcendence is something that has always been essential to my being, and and I live every day in a quest for enlightenment and new wonders. I don't see the point of living a blasé life of disenchantment every day and parking your fat ass on a sofa to watch some mindless crap on TV. Don't get me wrong, there are some good shows, so just watch those. What you have said, Mr. Donner, is beautiful. It encapsulates all my yearnings, expectations, and desires. My heart is yours. With that, Miss Sawyer closed her eyes, drifted off into a world of detached bliss, and received the most passionate kiss of her life from Mr. Donner on her supple lips of soft luxury. This was the start of a beautiful relationship. Another morning at Westbrook High School has arrived as the students and faculty filed into the corridors of higher learning for another day of academic pursuit. Mr. Donner went to his science room to mentor all the young aspiring physicists, and Miss Donner, as Miss Sawyer got on a loudspeaker for her morning announcement. Good morning, scholarly youth. I hope you have a day filled with educational delight as you skip joyfully through the world of discovery and learning in search of the very essence of knowledge and acute understanding. I must underscore the fact that I did say that I hope you have a day like that. What I know from past experience is that you will have a day filled with ridiculing innocent teachers who went into this profession with the earnest desire to try to develop young minds, bullying your fellow classmates who just happen to be physically weaker than you, throwing holy water on the janitor who just so happens to be a vampire, putting crazy glue in the lacrosse coach's hat or shirt, who just so happens to be a hermaphrodite who was spawned by crossing a mutant winged gopher with DNA that was taken from an unfrozen Piltdown man. And basically just making assholes out of yourselves. Anyways, have a good day, I guess. We now turn to Mr. Donner's class, where he is quizzing the students in Einstein's theories. Good morning, class. Today, we are going to be talking about a former postal worker whose scientific theories revolutionized our understanding of time, space, and gravity. Can anybody explain to me the gravitational relationship between the Earth and the Moon, as would be inferred by the study of Einstein's principles? I can explain it, Mr. Donner. Go ahead, Bert. When Shandar, king of the Netherworld, sends out psychic noodles into the orbs of wonder in Princess Polly's House of Strange Wonders, Captain Jerkoff sends his minions to Sector G of the Minkman Galaxy, where the Minkmen send pulsating beams of cognitive intent into the atmosphere to warp the space-time up there. Imagine that the moon is a giant rock that is falling to the earth. In essence, that's what it is. The moon really is falling towards the earth, but when space-time is warped, the moon falls to the earth, but it never lands. The warping of space-time causes the moon to stay stationary in relation to the earth. That is the essence of it. That was an excellent explanation, Bert. Okay, you students have really cooperated a little better with me today. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Scene 3. Mr. Donner and Miss Sawyer have wrapped things up for the day and are walking out to their cars. Miss Sawyer walks to her beautiful baby blue Porsche with brown leather interior and climbs in. Mr. Donner walks over to his rusted yellow Pinto, starts the piece of shit up, and starts driving only to find out that somebody removed his brakes right out from the car. What the fuck is he gonna do? The car is going fast because when he steps on the gas, it turns out that somebody also put an industrial strength adhesive on the gas pedal. So now that's stuck in place. He's on the expressway doing 190 miles an hour, trying to figure out how he's going to avoid inadvertently massacring both himself and an untold amount of innocent people who are out for a pleasant evening drive and may instead find themselves hamburger meat. He turns on the radio to find the voice of one of his students who went into a station and forced the DJ to let him speak over the airwaves. Hi, Mr. Donner. This is Zit-Face Charlie. I'm not very happy that I was given detention just because I threw garbage all over the hallways for no apparent reason today. In retaliation, I've removed the brakes from your car and applied an industrial strength adhesive to the gas pedal. If you want to live, you'll have to apologize to me and assure me that this won't ever happen again. Mr. Donner called into the station and apologized, and Zit-Face Charlie showed him how to stop the car by removing the adhesive and putting the black pedal back on. Mr. Donner came back home and went into her bedroom to plan out tomorrow when suddenly, at her window, there appeared Christian Slater. It was not the character JD, played by Christian Slater, but the real-life Christian Slater, the great actor who appeared on the set of Heathers 2 uninvited. Dreadful etiquette, I apologize for the intrusion. What are you doing here? You're not in the script. I just wanted to stop by to see if you wanted to go take a walk and have some fun out there. Sure, that would be fun. So I hear you're having an affair with Mr. Donner. Yeah, you sound jealous, Christian. Well, of course I'm jealous. Look at you. You radiate beauty like some kind of precious gem produced from Egypt during the reign of Cleopatra. And you're uncommonly talented. Of course I'm jealous. Miss Sawyer, of course I'm jealous. Are you jealous of Mike or the character Dalton Donner played by Mike? Also, are you jealous as JD, the character you played in Heathers, or Christian Slater, the man behind the myth? Did you just say the man behind the myth? There's a myth surrounding me? Yeah. And the myth is that you're actually a younger version of Jack Nicholson, juxtaposed in the same era, living in tandem with him through some kind of curving of space-time by consulting with Shandar, King of the Netherworld, and his minions. Yeah, so you know about that, huh? In answer to the question of who am I jealous of, and as whom I am jealous of both Mike Meyer and Dalton Donner, the character he plays in Heathers 2, and I'm jealous both as JD and Christian Slater, since I have such a strong psychic connection with JD that is another aspect of myself, and as JD, when I see my Miss Sawyer smooching with Dalton Donner, that makes me jealous. And since as Christian Slater, I feel it's possible you may be having an affair with the real-life Mike. Oh, I see. I would like at this point in my writing of the Heathers 2 script to introduce a plot device which I would like to think of as my own invention, but realize has probably been done before. I would like to introduce a parallel narrative in the script. We know what's going on in Westbrook High School and what the interactions are between the students, but obviously, in any given town, there are all sorts of things going on between people that private dramas of their own. The private dramas of their own. When I look out of a high-rise building and look at all the people and cars on the streets below, I often think about the private lives of each of these people. Each of these people has their own story to tell, which they live in a whether they live a particularly interesting life or not. That's what made me think of telling a fictional narrative in the same way. I can have a main story and also have some ancillary stories going on in my town, in the town in which the narrative takes place. In this case, in a town in Ohio. At this point, I will start another story in the Heathers 2 script that is taking place in tandem with a main story. Then I'll get back to the main story, and at the end of the movie, the stories will somehow overlap. Okay, in the parallel story, there's a guy named Desmond who stops at the Snappy Snack Shack for a turbo dog before a funeral. He's attending where he runs into Carl, a pallbearer at the funeral. Holy shit, is that you, Desmond? I'm sorry, Carl, you weren't supposed to see me. Yes, I was going to make a surprise appearance at the funeral. I'll say it's going to be a surprise appearance. It's your funeral. Yeah, and I'm giving the eulogy. How can you eulogize your own funeral? I'll have to explain that during my eulogy. Are turbo dogs on sale? 9 for 99 cents. Super. I'll have the usual 9 with extra mustard and a Mountain Dew. Aren't you going to get a slushie? During the winter, I get a Mountain Dew and mix it in with the slushy snow from outside, and then I have a Mountain Dew slushie. Okay. Eat that, and let's go to your funeral. We could go right now. What, are you going to stand there at the podium with 9 turbo dogs with extra mustard and a Mountain Dew slushie, eulogizing your own funeral? That's the plan. Okay, let's go then. Desmond and Carl arrive at the Pentecostal church, where Desmond walks up to the podium with his 9 turbo dogs with extra mustard and a Mountain Dew slushie under the gaze of a room full of bewildering eyes to eulogize his own funeral. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you're very bewildered, but let me explain to you how it is possible that I am eulogizing my own funeral. Early in the 20th century, when quantum physics started to gain a lot of attention and became a new paradigm in science, a man named Erwin Schrödinger discovered a paradox called the Schrödinger cat paradox. He hypothesized that since quantum physics suggests that the observer creates reality through popping quantum wave functions, that, for example, a cat contained in a box is only really in there when that cat is observed. And until then, there is a chance that there's a cat in there and a chance that there's no cat in that box. But like that cat, there's a chance that I'm dead and I'm in that casket over there, and a chance that I'm not. Whether I'm really in there, in that casket, will be determined when we open up the lid and observe what's inside. If it turns out that I'm dead and I'm really in that casket, obviously somebody else will have to give the eulogy. If it turns out that you really are dead, can I finish your turbo dogs and Mountain Dew slushie? Sure you can, Felix the Fatso. By the way, for those of you who are not aware of him, that's Felix the Fatso, and he scarfs up food with the enthusiasm of a lesbian mermaid swimming a sea of pure honey bliss. Okay, so let's open up the casket and see if I'm in there. They open up the casket and find him in there dead, at which point he instantly vanishes from the podium. Felix the Fatso runs up to the podium in a frenzy of animal gluttony and polishes off the disgusting turbo dogs as if they were his last meal, even though he has just had lunch an hour ago and drinks the Mountain Dew slushy. He stands there just kind of enjoying the food and the memory of eating it as it travels through his body of pus and whale blubber. He gives the eulogy. Good morning, mourners. My name is Felix the Fatso. And the only thing I know about that guy laying there in the casket is that I liked the turbo dogs that he was eating when he was standing here at the podium before we knew whether or not he was really dead. I really don't care that he's dead. I just wanted to know where he got those delicious turbo dogs and Mountain Dew slushy. Does anybody know? He got that at the Snappy Snack Shack. That's good to know. Okay, since I'm going to eulogize for, I'm giving a eulogy for a guy when I know nothing, whom I know nothing about. I leave the discussion open. What should we talk about? How about food? Let's talk about food. Okay, we'll talk about food. Who would like to start the discussion that we were going to have about food? I will. I like food. It's for me. Now that I'm done with the parallel narrative in my script, let's go back to the main story. Christian Slater has walked onto the set of the filming of Heathers 2 and is jealous of the fact that a new character introduced in Heathers 2, Dalton Donner, is having an affair with Veronica Sawyer. I realize that you're jealous of my having an affair with Veronica Sawyer, Christian. But I am a new character in Heathers 2, and that is the plot element we have chosen for the story. Believe me, it is a true and profound love of the kind so rare that is the type yearned for by the heart of the true romantic and seldomly achieved other than in the dreams and musings of poets. Okay, if it's such a profound love, give me an example of a poem that would serve as a metaphor for the profundity of the beautiful love you have, that you share. Okay, Christian, I will. A beautiful swan drifted across a peaceful pond, where alongside it, a whole bunch of ballerinas pirouetted in symmetrical gaiety to the sweet symphony of music that is the love of Dalton Donner for Veronica Sawyer. Then the sky opened up, and light rays shone upon vast fields of green as rivers of bliss ran through meadows of white wonder. That's when I knew she would be forever mine. We skipped through the meadows and found still other doorways to enchantment. It's pretty good poetry, Dalton. I guess you must like her. I sure do, Christian. By the way, Christian, would you like to be in Heathers 2 as JD? Maybe. What's it about? Well, it takes place in the future, where Veronica Sawyer has returned to Westerberg High School as the principal, and Dalton Donner is a new character who is a science teacher at Westerberg High School and is a love interest for Veronica Sawyer. What's the impetus of the movie? Well, Christian, Miss Sawyer and Mr. Donner realize that some of the traits of students that parents and teachers found annoying in them are the same traits that they find annoying. It's kind of a reversal of the script. They are now the adults and they want to get revenge on the students for ridiculing them. That's good. Yeah, I guess. I could probably do it. When do we start? We've already started the movie. It's just a matter of when you can start. We already know you're a great actor. Let's get this thing started and do something that has artistic value. Okay, I will. That is terrific. Scene 4. Miss Sawyer, Mr. Donner, and Christian Slater drive over to the cabin in the woods owned by Dalton's dad to discuss the diabolical plan that Miss Sawyer and Mr. Donner are formulating. Mr. Donner pulls up to the beautiful rustic estate in the woods of Ohio, and the three of them climb awkwardly out of Dalton's yellow Pinto, eager to stretch their legs and have a few beers in the cabin after the long drive. So, Christian, it's good to meet you. You're my favorite kind of guy. You're the kind of guy who I could say anything to, no matter how fucking weird it is. Thanks, Dalton. I'm a science enthusiast. And I'm a follower of all the progress you have made in SETI. That's great, Christian. You know, I used to think that all that you did was imitate Jack Nicholson. It definitely seems like you do, but I don't care. There's something I actually like about how you seem to really try to act cool and approach. About how you seem to really try to act cool. My approach is to act natural, because in doing so I will look cool because I naturally am cool. But you go out of your way to look cool, and I'm starting to like that because it shows how much you value coolness. That's very flattering. Now shall we discuss our diabolical plan? Yes, we should, Christian. Mr. Donner and I have been discussing the fact that we find the same traits that our elders used to find annoying in us when we were kids, annoying in the students, now that we are teachers. What did you want to do about it? Mr. Donner and I would like to snuff them out. That's terrific. We should definitely snuff them out. We have complete moral justification for our plan. Okay, I'm in. How do you like beer, Christian? How do you like the beer, Christian? This is good, Dalton. Where did you get it? That's Bubba Brow, which is brewed in a new brewery near Cleveland by a guy named Bubba. Let's see. Where the fuck? By Bubba Benson. Where did I... Okay. So I'm looking for the rest of the script. Is it... okay. Yeah, it's good beer. Okay, so I'm gonna... Okay, so that was from this notebook, from dialogue that I wrote for Heather's when I first started it in Lincoln Park in Chicago on Lil Avenue. So this is the very beginning of that script. And so now we continue with this notebook. Where's it pick up? Bear with me. Heather's who continues. Where is it? There we go. So here in this notebook, I really like it. to get a case of this to bring home for tonight. A case of it just for tonight? What are you, an alcoholic or something? Yeah, I guess. You drink a lot of beer too, Mr. Donner. I know. I love booze. But I only drink a case of beer a week, not a case a night. You should follow my example of moderation and drink only a case a week. A case of beer per week per guy should be more than adequate. It's enough beer. That's how I stay strong and healthy. Plenty of beer and cheeseburgers. So that's how much beer. That's all the beer you need. It's all I need, and I'm in paradise. It's enough beer. Oh yeah, and I love blowjobs from swimsuit models. You love that too, huh? I sure do. Okay, Dalton and Christian. Shall we have a few more beers tonight and enjoy the rest of the weekend in a drunken state of bliss so we are all rested and ready for Monday when it comes? Sure, Miss Sawyer. Have another beer. You don't have to call me Miss Sawyer when we're not at work. You just call me Veronica. But I like it. Then go ahead if you like. Hey, look. I see you guys on Monday. Bye. This has been fun. Is that enough beer? Okay, so had their beer, and then bye, Miss Sawyer. Bye, Christian. Monday morning arrived, and Dalton Donner pulled up in his rusted yellow Pinto and waddled off to physics class. Miss Sawyer pulled up in her baby blue Porsche with light brown leather interior and very sensuously sauntered over to the principal's office in a sultry and commanding way. She got into the loudspeaker to make the morning announcement. Good morning, pupils at Westerburg High School, and welcome to another week of ridiculing people with higher IQs than you who went to experience institutions of higher learning with the sincere intention of developing young minds so that they will someday be productive members of society, only to find out that we'll be dealing with a bunch of obnoxious brats who were raised in Wyoming by a bunch of baboon hermaphrodite chess competitors. Hi, Miss Sawyer. I'd like to see you after class, if that's okay. Yes, I'd very much like to see you, Miss Donner. We can have a picnic in the woods today. We should dress up in sexually arousing costumes to turn each other on. You got me, Miss Sawyer. I love sexually arousing costumes. Then sexually arousing costumes it is. Bye, I'll see you. Miss Sawyer, Mr. Donner, went into the woods dressed up in sexually arousing costumes. Miss Sawyer was dressed up in a goth rock tennis outfit with hoop earrings and black makeup, and Mr. Donner was wearing a caveman outfit. I love you, Miss Sawyer. You embody all the existential yearnings of my soul. What a coincidence. I love you, Mr. Dyer. You embody all the existential yearnings of my soul. Since we love each other, Miss Sawyer, and both of us embody all the existential yearnings of the other's soul, I say we make love. Yes, let's make love, Mr. Donner. Mr. Donner made sweet and passionate love with Miss Sawyer, and they gazed upon the many constellations visible to the naked eye in the night sky. Someday, if we find sentient life on other planets, I'm going to build you an entire state on another planet, Miss Sawyer, where I will soothe you each day with the loving warmth of my sweet essence. That's a great plan, Mr. Donner. I would love to be soothed by the loving warmth of your sweet essence. Okay, I will soothe you with the loving warmth of my sweet essence. Bye. I'll see you. Miss Sawyer and Mr. Donner adoringly cuddle each other and stared out at the evening sky with its dazzling array of planets and constellations. What a beautiful sight to behold. With all those stars and planets out there, there just has to be other civilizations, intelligent life somewhere. Oh, I agree, Miss Sawyer. Being involved in the SETI research department of NASA gives me a vested interest in such possibilities. Look at that light over there. Look at the way it pulsates. Those are called pulsars. Interesting. Wow, look at that planet with all the holographic images of different images of its own history juxtaposed in an artistic array. That's planet John sector G of the Milky Galaxy. Now that's cool. Wow, that's cool. Look at that star. It seems to be moving. That's not a star. It seems to be a spacecraft. Suddenly a spacecraft the size of a Pinto landed right in front of them. It actually was a spacecraft manufactured by Ford Motors and was modeled after the Ford Pinto automobile. Greetings and salutations, Earth inhabitants. I am Kando, and this is my space bitch Evelyn. Good morning, Kando. Yeah, good evening, Kando. Yeah, good evening, Kando. Good evening, Kando. Good evening, Kando. What kind of spaceship is this? Whenever I envision a spaceship, I envision the giant mother lode that they talk about in science fiction. Well, actually, this spaceship is actually a product of the Ford Motor Company, which has affiliates on planet John. Essentially, it's the actual Ford Pinto of spaceships. That's cool. Hey, Kando, I am particularly interested in learning more about you and the inhabitants of planet John. I'm a science teacher at Westbrook High School in Ohio, and I'm also involved in the SETI program at NASA, which is the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. Well, I can take you and Miss Sawyer on a trip to planet John in my Ford Pinto spaceship. That'll be great, Kando. Mr. Donner, get in the back. I'm sorry about the empty beer cans and cheeseburger bags. There's a mountain of beer cans and cheeseburger bags back here, Kando. You'll just have to lay across the cheeseburger bags. Lay across the cheeseburger bags and beer cans. This is exciting, Kando. Let's go. Mr. Donner, Miss Sawyer, and Kando flew to planet John in Kando's Ford Pinto spaceship and landed right in front of Westbrook High School on the planet. How can this be, Kando? How is it that there's a Westbrook High School right here on planet John that is the exact mirror image of the Westbrook High School on planet Earth? This is due to a mirror image phenomenon that exists on a plane of existence that is both material and immaterial. Planet John has an exact counterpart for every human situation and institution on planet Earth. The way this works is through the transmission of waves of psychic thought form sentience through the vast sea of dark matter that comprises most of outer space. The dark matter happens to be an excellent source through which this sentience can travel. When the sentience arrives on planet John, it arrives in a form that is random and needs to be decoded by the consciousness of the planet. The abstract consciousness assembles all the bits of data that make up all the people, places, events, and situations that occur in any circumstance. This abstract consciousness will usually assemble the data in a way that fits into the prevailing mood of the inhabitants of planet John during a given era. When these events of data are assembled into a cohesive and symmetrical form, a mirror image of events that occur on Earth will correspond to an alternative way on planet John. All of the events that happened at Westbrook High School on Earth were happened at Westbrook High School on planet John. It's an alternative take of those events. Now that's far out, Kando. I want to see some of that. I'll see you. I'm happy to have met you. Welcome to our planet. Let's have fun. I'll see you. Miss Sawyer, Mr. Donner, and Candle land on the surface of planet Chanticue and climb out of the spaceship. They see an exact mirror image of Westbury High School and can see some kind of gateway that they would like to know more about. Hey, Candle, what is that gateway? That's a gateway in time within the very context of Westerberg High School on planet Chanticue. What you're seeing now is Westerberg High School is now, with you as the principal and Dalton Donner as the science teacher. That's the way it is now. If you want to see Westerberg High School as it was when you were there as a student, I can take you through the gateway of time. That would be very cool, Kando. Yes, I must say, that would be interesting, Kando. Okay, let's go through the gateway of time. Look, it's a young Winona Ryder and Christian Slater. Winona Ryder looks so gorgeous. Look at the way her beauty overshadows the beauty of all the other girls in the cafeteria. When she walks in, you can see worlds of seafaring bliss when you look into those sparkling brown eyes. All of your yearnings and existential desires can find their fulfillment in the fields of enchantment that exist in the ever-present ocean of spiritual arousal that finds an eternal home in the heart of a girl who has been sent here by the very architects of cosmic beauty and love. It's a very nice thing to say about me, Candle. That's my pleasure, Miss Sawyer. Do you have anything nice to say about me, Candle? No. I'm sorry, Candle, I'm sorry. There's nothing you should know. You should be smart enough to know you're let's see, was that? Okay, so I think that was it for this notebook. Now we're going to, okay, so that's everything that I wrote for Heathers 2 when I was living in Chicago. Now here's the stuff that I wrote here for Heathers 2. Okay, in Park Ridge. Where did let me see, okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Dalton Donner, Miss Sawyer, the young Veronica Sawyer, and J.D. are gathered in the cafeteria at Westbury High School. In the context of the story of Heathers that takes place on Earth, this is the scene where Veronica Sawyer meets J.D. for the first time. She seems very smitten by him. In the alternate take of Heathers that takes place on planet Chanticue, Dalton Donner and the elder Veronica Sawyer, as Miss Sawyer, the principal of Westbury High School, enter the cafeteria to talk to J.D. and Veronica Sawyer. Dalton Donner looks at J.D. and Veronica Sawyer and begins speaking to them. Hi, Veronica. Hi, J.D. It's nice to see you. Who are you people? I'm you in the future. I'm the principal of Westbury High School. This is Dalton Donner, a science teacher at Westbury High School. We are dating. This is the person I'm going to be dating in the future? Yes, Miss Sawyer. It is I who you'll be dating in the future, both the archetypal me, who is Dalton Donner, a science teacher at Westerberg High School, and Mike Meyer, the real-life person who portrays me. The real-life person who is you, known as Winona Ryder, is going to be dating Mike Meyer. That's wonderful. I agree with that. The events that take place on planet Earth at Westerberg High School are mirrored by the events that take place at Westerberg High School on planet Chanticue with some alternative details. Correspondingly, the events that take place in the real lives of the actors who portray the characters in Heathers will mirror somewhat the events that take place at Westerberg High School on planet Chanticue. For this reason, Mike Meyer will be dating Winona Ryder in the future, is predestined for the fact that Westerberg High School on planet Chanticue mirrors the events of Westerberg High School on planet Earth. That's amazing. Meanwhile, at Westbury High School on planet Earth, Dalton Donner is giving a lecture to his science students about the search for extraterrestrial intelligence in the universe. He works with his branch at NASA SETI and has a lot to say about it. Good morning, students. Welcome to class. Today, I will be discussing life on other planets. For starters, Do any of you believe in life on other planets? A guy named Harlan raises his hand to respond. Yes, Harlan, do you believe? I must admit, I am quite skeptical. I want so much to believe, and I think it would be so fulfilling for the human race to interact with the alien species. What if I were to tell you that I know that life does exist on other planets? I would say that I need some bona fide evidence of that assertion to convince me. I have such evidence. Yeah, what is it? For starters, let me explain something. There's a planet known as Planet Jonahue that mirrors the events that take place at Westbrook High School on planet Earth. There's a Westbrook High School on planet Jonahue with the same people. The events that take place at Westbrook High School on planet Jonahue are an alternative take of the events that take place at Westbrook High School on planet Earth. How do you know this? I know this because I met an alien named Kando from planet Jonahue. Kando took Miss Sawyer and I to planet Jonahue. We saw some amazing things. Can we meet Kando? Yes, you can. As a matter of fact, he's here today. Kando walks into the classroom to greet Dalton Donner's science class. Good morning, class. I am Kando from planet Jonahue. It's nice to meet you, Kando. It's nice to meet you, Harlan. So, what brings you to planet Earth, Kando? My wife, Isadorix, fled planet Jonahue with an alien with whom she is having an affair. My heart is broken. My love for her was more important than almost anything in my life. I have come to planet Earth to get Isadorix back. Can you forgive Isadorix for having an affair, Kando? Maybe, but only if Isadorix shoves her naked ass in my face. Suddenly, Miss Sawyer appears in the classroom, to the class at the door. Excuse me, class, I need to speak to Mr. Donner. What is it, Veronica? Come see me in the hallway. They go into the hallway. What's on your mind, Veronica? Would you like to go to the movies tonight? Sure, Veronica. What would you like to see? There's a movie being shown there featuring Mike Meyer and Winona Ryder called Love Destiny. I would love to go. It's nice to look into your eyes of welcoming serenity. Oh, how I have yearned to kiss your soft lips of luxury and touch your hair, Veronica. I'll see you tonight. Dalton Donner and Miss Sawyer to the movies at night to see the movie Love Destiny, featuring Mike Meyer and Winona Ryder at the Dream Love Theater. Mike walks out to the concession booth to buy a bucket of popcorn for himself and Winona when he sees a student of his, Bertha. Hi, Mr. Donner. How surprising to see you here. I'm here with Miss Sawyer tonight. I can see that. Suddenly, Bertha grabs some candy and a bucket of popcorn and runs out of the theater screaming. Mr. Donner looks at the theater employee in disbelief. What was that? Do you know her? Yeah, she's a student of mine. She's in my science class. That bitch is in your science class? She stole popcorn and candy from me. Yeah, it looks as though she took off some popcorn and candy she didn't pay for. Is she a good student? Yeah. That's why I'm so surprised. Mr. Donner walks back to see Miss Sawyer. You won't believe it, Miss Sawyer. Bertha Chevalier stole popcorn and candy from here. Really? She stole popcorn and candy from here? Yeah! She stole popcorn and candy! It's just popcorn and candy. Let her have the popcorn and candy. Okay. Dalton Donner and Miss Sawyer are watching Love Destiny at the Dream Love Theater. Mr. Donner looks into Miss Sawyer's eyes and speaks to her. You look lovely tonight, Miss Sawyer. Thanks, Dalton. I think I need a snack. You want more snacks? Sure. That would be delicious. What is it that you want? I would like anything with gooey caramel in it. That's going to be delectable. I'm going to go and get that for you. Mr. Donner walks up to the concession booth. He sees a theater employee there named Penelope. Good evening. I'm here with my date, Veronica Sawyer. She has requested a snack from this here concession booth. A snack? That's what we have. Snacks. It's the only thing we have. My point exactly. That's why I came. I came because I knew I could get a snack. What kind of snack would you like? My girlfriend, Veronica Sawyer, has requested anything with gooey caramel. Gooey caramel? We don't have anything with gooey caramel. Are you being serious? You don't have anything with gooey caramel. This is a movie theater concession booth. There has to be something here with gooey caramel in it. Sure, a person might surmise that a movie theater concession booth would not under any circumstances be lacking in snacks that contain that devilishly delightful ingredient, gooey caramel. These, however, are extenuating circumstances. Extenuating. In what way? Bertha, your student, has stolen the snacks containing gooey caramel. Also, her and her minions have stopped production of any food items containing gooey caramel. She's quite an evil person. I don't know how I'm going to go on living life without gooey caramel. Just ponder that for a moment. What about love? You have that? Yeah, love. But I want my fucking gooey caramel! Then we must stop Bertha. I'll talk to you about this later, Penelope. I need to go see the woman I love, Miss Sawyer. I'll see you later, Dalton. Dalton Donner goes back to his seat next to Miss Sawyer. Where's our snacks? They didn't have any snacks containing gooey caramel. I love you, Veronica. That's wonderful. I love you too. Where are our snacks? Bertha, my student, stole the snacks containing gooey caramel and stopped production of any food items containing gooey caramel. We must stop her. I agree. The movie starts. The stars of the movie, Love, Destiny, are Mike Meyer and Winona Ryder. Dalton Donner looks at Miss Sawyer and speaks to her. I know something very interesting about this movie, Veronica. Yeah, what is that, Dalton? The characters in this movie, Mike Meyer and Winona Ryder, are the real life. Mike Meyer and Winona Ryder are the real life people who portray us. The archetypal characters in the realm of archetypes where fiction exists. Really? That's fascinating, Dalton. Also, since the Westbrook High School that exists on Planet Jarnicue shows a mirror image of the events that take place on planet Earth, Mike Meyer shall have a love affair with Winona Ryder. It is destiny. That's beautiful, Dalton. I agree. Do you know what else is beautiful? What, Dalton? You, Veronica. When I look into your eyes, my soul is transported to a plateau upon which I can gaze upon a field of immortal beauty with flowers of eternal wisdom that beckon us to consummate our predestined love. I love you too, Dalton. I love you, Veronica. Dalton Donner is sitting in the Dream Love Theater watching the movie Love, Destiny with his destined lover Veronica Sawyer. The stars of the movie are Mike Meyer and Winona Ryder. Let's enter scene 1 of the movie. In this scene, Mike Meyer is in the class at Pleasant Meadow High School in Happy Springs, Iowa, a town that is set up in Iowa in the future. The characters that Mike Meyer and Winona Ryder portray in this movie are Mike Meyer and Winona Meyer, respectively. They are seated next to each other in calculus class because they have the same last name. They are both very quiet, reserved people, but very studious and smart. Neither of them socialize much with other students, opting instead to study their classwork instead on the weekends. They are both extremely shy. They both loved learning and loved challenging their minds with some of the most brilliant theories and concepts in science, concepts in the fields of science, math, history, philosophy, religion, psychology, philosophy, and architecture of some of the most brilliant people in those fields. Mike sees Winona in the library one day at Pleasant Meadow High School. "I am Mike. I always wanted to meet you." "Oh, hi, I'm Winona. It's cool. We have the same last name. Winona Meyer and Mike Meyer, isn't it? I noticed you looking through a book about astral projection. I'm fascinated by astral projection." "So am I. My study of quantum physics, in combination with my studies of more New Age topics, has given me a perspective on human life in which that which may at first glance seem to be impossibilities are really a part of a transcendent reality that indeed is sustained forever by the very nature of these transcendent realities." Wow, Winona, we think a lot alike. I agree. This is a boring town, isn't it, Mike? I agree with that. They call it Happy Strings? This place is so fucking boring. How can you be happy here? I want to get the fuck out of here. I was to move to California to be an artist. So do I. I think we should get together and create art. Are you with me? I sure am. How would you like to go out to dinner with me tonight? That would be great. Okay. I'll meet you at Pierre's French restaurant at 7 o'clock. I'll see you there. Bye, I'll see you. Dalton Donner and Veronica Sawyer are enjoying thoroughly the movie Love, Destiny, featuring Mike Meyer and Winona Meyer, when Dalton looks into Winona's beautiful eyes and begins speaking to her. "The love between you, Winona, and Mike appears to be destiny. Do you always talk to characters in movies on the silver screen, Dalton? I feel a deep sense of preordained love between Winona Meyer and Mike Meyer in this movie. It is my belief that in the archetypal realm where fictional movies exist, fiction takes on a reality of its own that transcends the reality that we experience. It is a reality in which awareness is heightened and sexual pleasure is enhanced to a level of both physical excitation and spiritual discovery, in which both people involved not only have a physical orgasm, but also a spiritual orgasm that enables them to see into a reality both vast and eternal, as the consummation of their love is also their doorway to immortality." I agree with you, Dalton. Their love seems to be destined. I feel a deep sense of connection to some of their characters, as if I can communicate with them psychically. That's amazing, Dalton. Hey, look, Veronica, it's Bertha Chevalier sitting by herself with a bucket of popcorn. Yeah, that bitch who stole... The bitch who stole popcorn and candy and stopped production. Bitch, that bitch, that bitch. That bitch. Stop the production of any snacks containing gooey caramel. We should talk to her. That bitch. I'll talk to her soon. She's a good student. She's a very good student. She has a devious side to her and some strange personality quirks, but outside of that, she brings a unique intelligence to classic discussions. She's actually kind of fun. But it fucking sucks that she stopped production of snacks containing gooey caramel. That does suck, Dalton. Hey, yes, Veronica, what... Dalton? Yes, Veronica, what is it? You better not be cheating on me. Cheating on you? I could never cheat on you. Dalton? Yes. What, Veronica? I can see lust in your eyes. Lust? In my eyes? Maybe it's called a lust for knowledge. I'm a teacher. I'm supposed to have that. Thanks for not trusting me. What kind of knowledge are you lusting for, Dalton? The knowledge of what that woman's bare ass would look like if she will have her underwear? No, Veronica, it's a lust for scientific knowledge. There you go. Don't cheat. You bring me to plateaus of enchantment. Okay, so that was a little bit of a sample of the dialogue that I've written so far from my script to Heather's too. So I think there's a lot of dialogue there. So it ran over an hour, and I would like to write more of it, and I would like to get this movie produced. Um, so this is my pitch to try to get this movie produced, and I can keep writing and writing and keep writing more, writing and writing, keep writing more stuff, and hopefully someday it'll get noticed. It's been getting some views, so I hope that there is a chance that get this thing started, and I think it could probably really do well. Um, at the box office, I think a lot of people would like to see it. Okay, I'll see you soon for some more dialogue. Bye.